Hi everyone, Jessica here. Today I'm going to talk to you about something very important. And you know that saying, never judge a book by its cover? Well, in the yearbook world, that doesn't apply. Everyone's going to judge your book by its cover. So it's really important that we spend the time coming up with the best design. And what I'm going to talk about today is how to improve that design with different cover materials and different upgrades that we can do just to enhance that design. So first and foremost, probably what you'd see is the most common is our four color gloss. This is four color is just CMYK, so all the colors of the rainbow. You can use anything. And again, remember, we're designing the front, the back, and the spine. So this is standard gloss, very shiny, very smooth, very versatile. You could do any design on gloss. Next up, I have a gloss. Well, actually, this is a matte material. So matte is a little bit softer feel. And this book has hot foil. So I wanted to kind of move it around and show you how the hot foil works. This has so many different color hot foils. We have a teal, a blue, a pink, an orange, and a yellow. I have a whole list of swatches of the different hot foil colors. So, I mean, almost any color that you would design, we could also turn that into a hot foil. Again, the front, the back, and the spine. So this also has what we call embossing or raised. It's hard to see. It's more something you would feel or you'd see in person, but the words up are actually embossed. If you want to think of it as like braille, where it's raised up. We also do debossing where things are sunken in. So that's something else you can do. And we can do more than one application on a cover. Another example of that, this one I just thought came out so cool. It's a black matte material and then hot foil on the Hornet. But this hot foil, like when it shines, because of the coloring of it, it almost has this like ombre effect, or from my eyes anyway. And they also embossed all of this as well, so it pops off of the cover, and the coloring is just beautiful. Also, the us is hot foil. This is a silver with an outline on it, and that is also embossed. So real and again, doesn't have to have all these different colors. The color palette here is pretty limited, but has such a great effect to it. One of my favorite classic books, my Lynbrook books, they always do beautiful covers. This material is your like book material. It's a little bit different than the gloss and the matte, so it's just a standard like book material. Again, it's if any of you want samples of any of these types of materials, just let me know and I can bring them to you or send them to you. Because sometimes feeling it just gives you a different idea. They did gold hot foil on this design around the outside, and I'm just moving it so you can see how the hot foil kind of just dances in the light. And they also, this is the school seal that they do on a lot of their books, not every single one, but a lot. So it's a little bit of a tradition for them. And this, I'm going to put it real close so you can just see the details in those owls and the lettering. Like we really get in there and pull every little piece of it. All they had to do was send me this file as a JPEG, and we were able to recreate it as the seal. So beautiful job as always. One of my favorite upgrades to do is the cutout. It's one of the best bangs for your buck. So you see we have the cover here, and this is a book cloth material. We do have book cloth, white linen. We now have the Lumineers back, which is like a book cloth, but it gives this like shiny feel to it. Beautiful. So happy we just got that back. But this cutout here, this is a standard shape, just a square, Polaroid Dreams. And then don't forget your end sheets. That's also a great way to upgrade your book, is that we can do end sheets in the front as well as the back. They can be the same or they can be different. But the cutout is really cool because it just gives that other extra element and it pulls in the end sheets into your theme. Other than doing the standard shape, we also have custom cutouts. So this might be a little, I'm going to move it in the light here. See, there you go. Now you can see it. Their theme for this was in between. which was such a cool theme. It was all about senior year being in between like adolescence and adulthood. Very, very cool. But their cutout is between. So I'm going to put it real close so you can kind of see between. And then on their end sheets, outside of their school, they have this beautiful statue of Benjamin Cardozo. That's the school name. So they just had the cutout have him peer through all of those letters. So like the detail that went into creating this cover was amazing. And as you can tell, it was well worth it. They also have the book name Nexus and 2015 in our copper hot foil, and it's also debossed. Remember, that's sunken in. So it just gives it that extra effect right there. Um, One of our new materials, this is the metallic, and even in this video, it doesn't give this material justice. The metallic is so amazing. Let me see if I can just kind of like turn it all around so you can kind of get the feel for it. What it does is it takes the colors and it just gives it this vibrancy. You can see again, this really dances in the light as well. They did this on a matte finish, so it's nice and soft. It's just beautiful, and I love the coloring for their design. This is a custom design, so it lended really well for the metallic. Now we're getting a little fancy here. This is one of my favorite books from New Hyde Park. We did a Trapper Keeper. I feel like I'm dating myself with Trapper Keeper, but see it unfold, right? So here's your theme, and it goes perfectly with this upgrade. So we're unfolding that Trapper Keeper opening into the end sheets, right? Beautiful. And it just folds back in. We used one of the Walsworth artists to help us come up with this idea and execute how it would look in the Trapper Keeper. Now, these are just some of the samples that I have, but possibilities are so endless when it comes to cover designs. I saw one this past year that was the Game of Life was their theme, and they even had the spinner put onto every single cover, like customized. We've also done plexiglass. Unfortunately, I don't have any samples because those always sell out. Like every time I've done one for a school, they sell out. The plexiglass is a huge hit. Of course, it's very costly, but we can look at your budget and decide if that's something that we can budget for this year. Maybe we want to save up for next year, whatever it may be. I've also had a school that put custom feathers onto their book. So my point being, you can do anything that you think of. And I'll help you come up with those, concepts. I always say design first, come up with your idea, and then I can help you figure out which material, which upgrade goes best with your design. So I hope this helped. If you want any samples of any types of materials, let me know. Thank you.